This is the continual evolution of the East Coast beat. Night has come again. The valley is quiet. Dancing in the softness of the pale moonlight. One questions, who could not but love this moment? The darkness, the void, humming of nothingness. I have seen $1,000,000 cities fall while the people pay for their superheroes. Every other will answer the call. Every other will willingly fall. Who am I in the end? Well, Buddhists try to teach that one should not become attached to their ego, but then what is a man speaking of if it's not his own ego? Even to speak of teaching, then the teaching is your ego. You know what I'm saying? It is what is supports you. It is what is you. It is what gives you strength. It is what lets you open your eyes in the morning and live through another day. And they teach you to not become attached to that. Well, and then I learned that attached just means see it as it is. If you're short and you got a hairy back, you're short and you got a hairy back. If you're tall and skinny and you've got thin hair, you're tall and skinny and you've got thin hair. Don't be attached to who you are. It is who you are, then let it be who you are. And like I said, some kids are built a certain way, so they play sports. Some kids are built a certain way, so they go into the band. You know what I'm saying? And these become who you are as you get older. The memories of what you did one summer will stay with you 40, 50 years. And in a way, will it define who you are? In a way, it will. But the Buddhists teach us to get beyond that there's more to life than what we can see. And I can attest to that because when I dream at night, um, I don't have a limp anymore. I can use my hands. I can run. I can climb. I can swing. I can, jump over, fallen trees. I can do these things. Whereas in reality, every other step I'm very conscious of now. So, you know, there was a time, well, they have at all times prophesized the end. As long as I've been around, part of the church preaching the good news is they teach of the end, you know what I'm saying? And that we those that accept the ways of those that accept their ways will find their way into their heaven, you know what I'm saying? And but yet everybody preaches a way, everybody preaches an end, everybody, because I think that's just man's nature to want a way and an end, something to know, one day this will end, one day this will not be, one day I won't have to live this anymore, I won't have to suffer, the pains that man suffers, each man suffers his own. Some people have done things that they can't outlive. Some people want things that they will never have. Some people just feel in certain ways that they know is not going to help them, so they have to, masquerade their entire lives so that they don't end up a social pariah or a, criminal or something like that because they're one of those people that it's like, oh, you don't want to fuck with me. Well, then maybe there are people out there that are really like that, and um you know uh they're doing the best they can just to know that they're not going to end up on the wrong side of, they're not going to go out for a gallon of milk and end up catching 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's obvious but some people, like I said, when you're a kid, some people played baseball, some people played basketball, some people hung out with their friends, some people went skating. Kids did what they did, and then you live your life. And like I said, some people, they choose, or they've always sort of been on the side and in the shadows, and they've had one or two or three, maybe even 3 to 5 friends, but none of them were actually the popular kids. So it's like, they read books, they made up rules to games about whole different realities, and they played these games, because the reality that everybody else was sharing just wasn't worth it. You know what I'm saying? So they made their own, and that's the whole thing. Like I said, I've seen $1 million cities fall, you know, because every other person answers the call, which is another way of saying that sometimes nobody will, you know. The continual evolution of the East Coast beat.